it could go very one-sided because LGD is looking absolutely disgusting right now. But come on, it's the rematch that we saw. We saw Mineski beating LGD. So.
And isn't it right that this event so far, you've been getting pretty lucky with the games that you casted?
Yeah, I think I might be casting that next one.
And you are casting the next one. So here you go. That will be the most exciting series of the day. It's already written in the stars. Anything, any other matchups for you that catch your eye, Black?
Well, for me personally, today at least, I feel the 2 upper bracket matches are going to be good quality Dota. At least that's what we should expect. And then the lower bracket ones should be like how EG versus Spirit was yesterday.
Amazing.
Very exciting Dota. Yeah, very exciting Dota.
You know, I'm looking forward to it. I hope it's tomorrow, the Optic EG. Oh my.
Hey, don't get ahead of yourself.
That's going to be real
Got to be careful there.
That is going to be real.
Do you have a favorite?
Between those two?
As a North American player, is there any...
Like a favorite as in who I'm rooting for?
Yeah.
Or no, not really. I think Optic is a better team. Just EG hasn't had enough time to really mesh it all.
Sure. I mean, that's fair enough.
But it should be a good series regardless.
Don't care. I hope they have their battle passes leveled up.
Yeah, I saw
Wait, Peter was, what, 33?
He's level 33. He's
Gotta
got
level
something
it
to work
up a
on.
bit. When do you
Lots
get
of
the
tipping.
stuff? 100? 200? Something?
I don't
It's
remember.
pretty high up there.
They need to get 1200 though, so they can spam some Lakad Matatags.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, all the tipping. I mean, that will be very exciting. Another exciting matchup indeed tomorrow. But today we have a lot of exciting matchups indeed as well. Our first one being a Newbee taking on Virtus.pro. So let's get into that first matchup of the day.
The TI7 runners-up have placed top 4 at 7 DPC events this season, but have struggled to reach the final stages of the recent majors. It's time to shake it off and show us, once again, the killer team that dominated the Genting and Perfect World Minors. They were formidable last season, but on the pro circuit, they've become unstoppable. With 3 major titles under their belt and TI8 qualification in the bag, VP are here for one reason, and one reason only: to uphold their reputation as the best team in the world.
Virtus.pro already having 4 majors under their belt, looking to add a 5th, and if they do, they actually surpass OG with majors 1. So indeed looking to win here, and of course for them as well, looking to finally get a break after this season, because they have not taken one. Not even events that they didn't go to, they just bootcamped instead. So a very driven team. As for Newbee, by the way, I know that it was said that Virtus.pro already has a direct invite. Newbee, as of yesterday's result, is actually guaranteed for TI8 as well. And I am personally hoping that for them, that will maybe, you know, loosen them up a little bit, ease their spirits, because they've been looking a little rocky lately. And I think let's start with Newbee, because I think they are the team that has most to prove here. They got the invite, but now they have to still prove that they can actually do well at TI Fogged.
Yeah, I mean, like, we were looking at some of the patch changes, especially, and we're like, oh wow, a lot of Newbee's heroes got buffed up. We were really excited to see them, but they're still having these pretty critical mistakes. They're really like reliant on. It just still seems like Kaka has to do super well, and then SCCC has to snowball. It's like so many things need to go super well, and I'm not really seeing it. I'm seeing KP struggle a lot in the games, Kaka struggling in the games, SCCC in the early mid game is struggling. Late game, they're still that kind of like that monster if they're able to get there, but Yeah, I mean, they're playing versus VP, so that early mid game is going to be the most important for them, and that's where I feel like they struggle the most.
I mean, for me personally, I felt like for a long time now they're just like failed to adapt or are very slow to adapt to the current meta because other teams are doing what they're not doing. They're applying a lot of pressure on the off lane, whereas they're kind of just like doing what they did a couple of months ago or worked for them. And I think they just gotta take it up a notch and innovate a bit.
Do you feel the dual lanes have backfired for them a little bit? That's what I felt like. Because I
Yeah.
felt like when it was like KP doing his own thing top, he'd do great when Kaka's roaming around and making plays. But now it's where they're setting these dual lanes, it really seems to hurt them a lot.
Yeah, the dual lanes usually work very well for teams, but it doesn't seem to work well for them. Like
Yeah.
KP just seems like the guy that is best left alone. Like, he will do well when he's alone, but in dual lanes he will kind of like overextend and then die. Then support will also die, and then the lane is over, and it's very, very hard to come back from that.
Yeah, that's.
Can we
same way I
take
felt.
an on-panel survey real quick? Because I have
Sure.
a little bit of a pet peeve
All right.
that I'd like to discuss with you guys.
Go
I
for
don't
it.
I don't want to influence you in any way. So can you pronounce the Chinese team's name, please?
Newbie?
Newbee?
Newbie.
Okay. Why does every announcer, including the TI one, say Newbee? Does that bother anybody?
Oh.
Because when they first got announced, it was actually with a capital B as well. And it was like, it was actually,
It was capital N, capital B.
yes, I think so.
Really?
Esports.
I think so.
Hmm.
I might be wrong, but I think so.
I don't remember. I mean, you could be right. Either way, that
I'm not sure.
something.
Does that really trigger you that much?
Okay, I get
It's a
triggered by
it's
really
a
small
minor
things.
What
right?
difference.
about, what about
though.
Aegis?
What
Yeah,
about
that's pretty annoying.
what about esports with capital S?
No, that one I don't really care as much about. Surprisingly enough, I know Red Eye is a real stickler for that,
Yeah.
but it's kind of a 50-50 with me, you know. But Newbee,
Newbee.
But I
Yeah.
feel like they do that a lot with most teams, right? They're just like Team Liquid, and they always emphasize on the second part of the names. Where
Well, that's
Newbie
fine.
just
Team-
like they don't say Team Newbie, they just go Newbie.
that-
So maybe if they add the team in
make it
front,
more
It
hype.
makes
if
sense.
they
Make it more
emphasize
hype.
liquid,
It
that's
makes
fine
sense.
too because it's 2 words.
Liquid.
Would that
They
bother
don't
you?
do that.
What if they did
They
that?
don't. Yeah, if they did that, that would trigger me. But they don't do that.
I would imagine that if they put team in front of it, it would be Team Newbie.
I
Yeah,
hope
exactly.
so.
That's what I was.
I
Yeah,
hope
exactly.
you're
Yeah.
right. I hope to God you're right. If Valve's listening, please add a team in front of that because
Well, no, but
Maybe
Liquid
they
actually
have done
has
it.
it in their name.
yeah.
Newbie does not.
Exactly.
Maybe they have done
I'm
it.
saying add it to
Now I'm
Newbie.
thinking, did they do Team Newbie? Now they might have.
No.
Did they do
No,
Team New?
they just went Newbie.
Now I'm thrown
All
off.
right, all right.
Come on, Shannon.
So-
You're gonna notice from the rest of your life now.
Newbie is gonna
Yes.
face Virtus.pro. It works for that name.
Yeah, that one's fine.
2 words.
Virtus.pro. This is their 12th DPC event. And they won 4 majors. You know, no biggie. Why would they still put up this much effort to?
I think the main reason is because historically speaking, you need to do well before TI, right? And the question
right.
that I had when they won their first major, and in fact their back-to-back majors, I was like, have they peaked too early? Because that is the absolute worst thing you could do. I think the answer is no, regardless of the result here, unless they just completely flame out. They don't need to win this event or anything. If they do, even if they do terrible at TI, I think you can't ever say that they peaked at the wrong time.
Totally agree.
They played well the entire year.
Yep.
They've been very
Well-
impressive.
at the same time, if they would bum out at TI at last place, I would still say that they peaked too early. Even though it was a long peak, you want to peak at TI.
I think that I would attribute more to the 6-week break personally. I don't know how you guys feel.
I mean, there's
But
a,
they're gonna take a 1-month vacation.
They're-
so-
they're
I
gonna
mean, they're
take
gonna
on
take it.
vacation.
If they take a 1 month, okay.
They're
I
gonna
mean,
go on
They're not
vacation.
going to take a 1
No,
month
they're gonna
off.
go away for 2 weeks or something, and then they're gonna practice for the month before TI.
Right, and-
I think that was the plan.
What's
Okay.
there's a tournament in between too. There is one of the summits.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I mean, VP
Summit
they won.
Kings.
They won
Yeah,
last time, right?
they did.
And they won the time before.
They did.
I think.
I'm
So
sure they're gonna
they're
get
probably
me
gonna
invited,
try.
and they could use that as a Kickstarter to
And
practice again.
let's
Yeah,
be real.
I
when,
think so.
when players take vacations, they don't. It's
Why'd
not
you
really,
look at black?
It's not
It's so
really.
intense
I'm looking
there.
at both of you.
Okay.
They just played Dota.
Yeah, they just played Dota
No,
anyway.
no. Virtus.pro has actually booked vacations. They are actually gonna physically go somewhere. I think.
As a
Okay,
team.
but you fly to
no, I
Hawaii.
don't think so.
Okay.
You fly to Hawaii. You bring a laptop. You still
Yeah,
play some
they all
Dota.
have laptops. I mean, they're super rich.
All
They
right,
have
let's
so
talk
many
about this
cars
matchup
now.
though, because on paper, Newbee should take this. Virtus.pro should take this easily 2-0. What should make me believe otherwise?
Nothing. It's going to be 2-0 Virtus.pro.
Come on.
It's hard to,
Come
on.
to
I mean,
believe
you never
otherwise,
know.
honestly.
It really is.
Key things for this matchup. What are we looking to see here? I mean, the draft has begun. Any particular heroes you want Newbee to get, or you want them to do
VP.
well with?
Bloodseeker on Mugi.
All right.
That's the big one I'm
All
looking
right,
for.
very specific.
And I just think if they get extremely good core matchups, I'm like sure the supports can have like the big influence, but I want these core matchups. I want Newbee to just like you look and you're like it's like a troll versus a Lycan or something. These like absolutely dominant troll matchups that they can actually just win
Wait,
just
do you
based on
guys
their
like
heroes.
Troll?
Troll is good.
You like
Well,
Troll?
I was just saying. I was just using
no,
troll
just in
versus
general,
Lycan.
because
is like-
I've heard a lot of
it's-
varying
No,
opinions.
it's a
on
very
Troll.
strong laner. It's the best part about him. Because like you buy a stout shield, you have the whirling axes, you have very high armor. I think your first pick is a +6.
Yep.
It's actually you're like a Terrorblade in lane basically.
Not
Terrorblade
bad.
with
But
better
better.
spells.
Yeah.
But for me, I think Newbee needs to survive the laning stage because late game, mid game I'm not so sure, but late game they can definitely contest Virtus.pro because they're very good late game. But the laning phase is going to be rough.
So
Yeah.
far this event, TNC is the only one that has beaten Virtus.pro.
One map already.
one game only,
Yeah.
sure. But surely you're going to then look at TNC and see what they did in that specific game. And I think what they did was just play incredibly fast, right? So
That's
we-
how VP play too.
and that is something that Newbee has to practice. So, because they don't really do that very well right now. So perhaps we're going to see them trying something else. I mean, they're in the upper bracket. If they want to try and find a new style, this is it.
I mean, playing fast, you said Bloodseeker, one of the best heroes to play fast
Yep.
with. So I would love to see it.
I
It's
want
one of Mugi's best heroes too, right?
Yeah, it is. I want just like I think Shivi, like that was really good point. Just like playing fast, picking very strong early game heroes that can just run away with it. I think this is a good start. The Sanking because that's more than likely Kaka's hero,
Yep.
and they get less Shrek too.
The-
So they've
I like
already
how
got double
the
stuns
combo.
right off the back.
I like how Newbee has banned Death Prophet, who's terrible on almost every team except for Virtus.pro, it seems. in
And
this
LGD.
tournament,
I mean,
right?
that's
and
true.
LGD, yeah.
Her current win rate is 36%. But for Virtus.pro, I think it's, well, I mean, they won almost every game. So there's that.
They're the 37%.
Yes, exactly.
Beast Warlock. Usually you see Warlock picked up in response to Beast, but now they're teaming it up together. You think they're going to be a dual offlane? Honestly, Fatal Bonds plus Axis is
It is
very
a lot.
strong. But you can put them in a safe lane too to secure your carry.
I guess
against Warlock.
It depends on where they think like the Lesh and everything's going to go, right?
Yeah.
If they think the Lesh is going to be applying pressure in the offlane, they'll probably put the Warlock there to counteract it. If not,
Yeah.
they'll put their own pressure on the opposing side.
So VP banned the Lycan. Lycan, of course, very strong against the Warlock. Doesn't care about upheaval. You can just run him down. Actually, one of the only carries that's really good against Warlock, I think. Because you just really don't care about what he does to you. Then Newbee are going to be looking to ban the Ramsey Slark. They picked it a lot.
They do have a Lesh though. Lesh and Sanking.
They're very good.
They're pretty damn good.
But
versus
even
Slark,
yesterday, when
but
people
yeah.
had Lash, they still banned out Slark. Like for me as a Slark player, I was a bit confused because I hate playing against Lash.
Don't
Yeah.
admit
So
you're a
much.
Slark player, by the way.
You what?
You shouldn't admit you're a Slark player.
Dude, he spams Slark.
Yeah, I spam Slark.
I mean, anti-mage is okay because he's out of
Get
favor
off
right
the
now,
panel.
you know, but ooh.
He's been spamming Slark for
Okay.
years.
So
Do you buy Satanic on Slark by any chance?
Versus Leshrac.
yeah, versus
Oh,
Blade Mail,
Versus Blade Mail.
Axe counter. No, but to be honest, me as a player, right, I just play all the scum heroes, like all the dirty heroes. That's me. Arc
Well,
Warden.
You're not Ace though. Ace goes
I'm not
full
Ace.
out. Ace is the Brood, the
Yeah.
Techies,
Yeah.
the Meepo.
Ace is one upping me for sure.
He really is.
Yeah.
Take out the Nyx. Okay. When they have the, I mean, that probably is assumption that they want to make
Core
this
Lesh.
Leshrac core. Yep.
So it's going to be on KP, presumably, and then Kaka Sanking, very strong on the Sanking. We haven't really seen him run offlane Sanking too much, right? It was usually Kaka playing
It's
it.
usually, it's like one of Kaka's most winning combos, the Sanking and him.
Yeah. They banned a Shadow Demon.
It's pretty
Okay.
cool the variations between the teams that we've been casting because if this was secret with Beastmaster, I'd say, oh, Skyrath for sure is going to be picked right
Yeah.
now. But I don't know if VP really plays it that often. But of
They
course
do.
they do have a very
do,
wide
yeah.
range of heroes.
Yeah, they do.
Solo
Roger.
loves Skyrath, that's what I
Both
know.
of them play it, yeah. Roger as well as Solo.
Solo was the guy before the respawn time was changed in pubs. He would just go like no talisman, just go middle, spam, suicide to neutrals, spam, suicide to neutrals. He loves that hero. He knows it inside out.
5 seconds remaining.
But I feel it's not that good against Lash Sanking. It's quite, it dies quite easily. You get
Oh,
stunned
they're-
once, you just die.
Look at how much they're securing this Leshrac for core, right? They've even banned the Lifestealer out too, which is a hero we haven't been seeing that much in this
But
tournament.
Ramses loves it though.
Yeah.
Especially with Beastmaster, it's very strong. You build it into the medallion, you roar a guy, and he's just dead.
Do you think it got that much weaker? Because I was very curious why I saw it completely fall off in these situations. Just maybe because just Troll and like these Lunas are so dominant, but are prominent. But I was surprised to see how little Lifestealer has been picked up.
Personally, I feel only these like only carries Lifestealer can't man fight are a real counter, right? Like these, like you said, Slark, Troll.
Yeah.
These heroes they really counter Lifestealer, but Luna, Gyro, these heroes they Lifesteal doesn't care.
Yeah,
he
he
just
eats
runs
them.
at them and he eats them. Yeah, exactly.
Hey, I know this might be a little crazy. You know what the best hero right now for VP is?
10
Is
seconds
Pugna.
remaining.
Look at this lineup they're going against.
Pugna.
Tell
You
me
mean
that's
for the
good.
ward?
5 seconds.
It's really good.
Dude, I'm a
pretty
big
good.
Pugna fan.
I love
I am
Pugna.
the biggest Pugna fan.
And the ward just got buffed
The ward did get buffed, 0.25.
on every level. And of
Anytime
course you play
it's matched
against DK.
yeah, DK just feels like it's not tanky at all.
Yeah,
against
you-
Pugna.
I mean,
It's very
versus
squishy.
tanking too. How do you epi in a lot of these fights? You
Yeah.
start your epi channel. If you hit it by the ward, you have to wait a couple
I mean,
seconds
that's
before
the
you
old
can go.
school counter, right? The ward versus Sand King.
Yeah.
What's the
Waiting in
AoE
the
of that?
trees.
1600?
It's
I
very,
believe?
it's very, very large. Yeah.
Yep. Blink Dagger, of course, 1250.
Yep.
They're taking so long in their bonus time. What could they be discussing?
Pugna, that's what they're discussing.
Well, they're
100%.
Other than Pugna.
they're probably like, wow, we already they
Yeah.
may have just shown 2 of their cores already on Newbee because of
Yeah.
those bans. I mean, they can still, of course, change where the last strike is, but they can probably just take a core matchup if they want to now for VP.
They're probably just discussing whether they want to put the Warlock safe lane or not. And actually play against the lane with Ramses, or just put them dual off lane maybe, and put the Beastmaster safe lane to absorb the pressure. What could VP pick it at? Like, they really like Luna. Luna is okay.
Turn to pick.
It's just gonna be
Hey.
Sky.
Hey.
There you go. There you go, Shannon.
That's
Nice one,
one.
Shannon.
That's 1 out of 2.
I always like
Need a
having
second one.
an amplification when you're playing versus heroes like Dragon Knight. So I actually really like having that. Like you were suggesting the Pugna, that's also an amplification versus DK. I like Sky here.
Yeah.
In a way, they have 3 amplifications, right? Even Fatal Bonds can be seen as such,
Yep.
because you just link them to other heroes. Actually,
Definitely.
even better against strength heroes, right? Because they have so much health, you just keep hitting them, and an entire team just dies. I really like it.
5 seconds remaining.
They still need a physical DPSer
Mhm.
with all this magic damage.
There would be
coming in.
Ramses for sure. I personally don't like Luna too much against Sanking Lash. It's like a lot of pressure that Luna doesn't really like to absorb. Rather see something that can recover quickly. Like Lifestealer, but that one is out.
Troll or Monkey King, I'm looking at for VP.
Troll,
I,
Monkey's
I
good.
almost never say Monkey King, but when it's VP, that's like I think that's the only exclusion for me that can pick that hero.
Ramses Monkey is really good.
Yeah, he's very disgusting. They
How
play
come
really
you don't
well
like
around
Monkey
it.
King?
Who doesn't like
It's
Monkey?
a cool hero.
I mean,
Yeah.
I like it, but
just
in a lot of
teams
these
can't
games he
execute
loses.
it as well?
Yeah, he just loses majority of the
Like,
games.
he wins the lane most of the time, and then he just like gets caught once and you die.
He wins the lane
Super
because he's a
quickly.
range hero.
Basically, yeah.
Yeah.
It's a hybrid.
With the melee benefits.
There's one team that played it so far. We had Mid one play Monkey King.
Mid one played it,
Yeah, and they
and
won,
they
I
won.
believe.
and they won that game. Okay.
Yeah.
Turn to pick.
Bane Elemental.
Bane.
Wow, Bane made it that far.
Now you definitely don't want Luna or Gyro, because Bane is very good against these heroes. So strong safe lane to secure the safe lane for Mugi. And he also absorbs pressure really well. Just
Yeah.
brain sap. You can take the bolts.
Turn to ban.
And
Oh,
Kunkka.
wow.
Oh.
So he just got a nerf. Level 25 no longer has the 50% Tidebringer splash, but instead a minus 1.5 second Tidebringer cooldown,
No,
right?
no, it's not a nerf.
Well,
It's
a
just
change.
Yeah, it's a change.
different.
Because you technically have more damage if you find more opportunities to hit,
Right.
which
Instead
is
of the
very
one-
hard though.
They nerfed the one-hit wonder. Let's
Yeah.
call it that.
I think because of that, what that one game, right, where the Luna
Yeah.
got one-shotted when they were pushing base. I can't.
Yeah.
You mean the DK and the Lifestealer?
It was like the MDL
Yeah.
game, right?
Yeah.
I think it was.
I mean, you can probably like there's a lot of these scenarios
Sure.
happening. You get like 1.9k crit and you hit for 3k.
yeah.
Just disappear.
Ooh. Kunkka.
What do you guys think of Dragon Knight in this tournament? I feel like he's been a little
Oh,
underwhelming.
I
been
can tell
losing
you something about
The
Dragon
majority
Knight.
of games.
Yes, he has 18 games played. His win rate is 28%.
So even worse than. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah,
DP.
it's pretty bad.
I mean, he has been picked so much, even first phase by a lot of teams.
It just feels like he does no damage.
They
right?
start countering him now, but he
And
does
they
no
counter
damage
it with-
because of the item builds too.
That's
Yeah.
also.
Like
yeah.
a lot of people go hood
10
blink now. I think
seconds
that's
remaining.
good for an offlane DK.
Yeah.
Not a mid DK by any
Oh,
means.
hood.
Seconds
I haven't seen
A
hood
lot
in
of people
while.
go hood
Okay.
into blink dagger. Like, where's the damage? You have threats for damage, basically.
Big
I
fan
really
of,
dislike
big
it.
fan of Shadowblade.
Yeah, me too.
Or I mean, I've seen like when I say like VP play. I'm not so much anymore, but the armlet build too sometimes is really good.
I mean, for me, it's either drums into blink or just go on the shadow blink.
I love the Bloodseeker ban,
Turn to pick.
and they take
Slug,
the
and
slug
they
right
do
away.
take the slug, yeah.
Yeah,
Very
so
good
take it
against
anyway.
all the heroes except Lash, for
Yeah.
me.
I love. I mean, you're
gets
the bigger
destroyed.
slug. Yeah, DK. These like very tanky cores that you just build these S and shift stacks off
Yep.
is amazing.
And you take like 22 extra health every hit. It's an amazing hero against us. But the lane is going to be rough.
Mm-hmm.
And that's a good thing for Newbie.
That is a good thing for
That's
them.
what they
Because
needed to do too.
we told them, yeah, they have to focus on the lanes.
But the thing is, if VP wins that lane, for whatever
5
reason,
seconds
then Newbee's in a lot of trouble.
And that reason being the VP is at the moment just a better team, for example?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Or
And
they
I've
could shift their lanes around if they wanted
Yeah.
to.
I mean, I've seen
Yeah.
it. I actually have seen this like Slark Warlock. So I'm assuming it's going to be Beastmaster Sky top, Slark Warlock, wherever they want the pressure to be, to eat that pressure. And I've actually seen this Slark Warlock versus like Beastmaster Coddle, and this Slark absolutely free farm under the pressure of it anyway. So I'm
It's definitely possible.
definitely concerned.
I mean, Warlock is just such a strong hero. He gives you like a free tango level 1 every time. And then you couple that with a tango, you have how much? 25 HP regen a second?
Yeah.
It's just too much to handle for most duos.
Well, the last one is the face is Void.
Oh!
Good
I
control.
love that hero.
Yeah.
Wow.
Slark hates Void.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure Void is one of the biggest counters.
Oh, and
Slark.
KP's playing the Sanking. So it's going to be
He
Bane,
is.
Bane Lesh supports for securing those lanes. Okay.
I actually
Oh,
like.
boy.
I like Newbee's approach. I think they did exactly what we kind of wanted them to do.
Yeah.
But
I
can they
agree.
outplay them?
However,
However, according to
However.
Twitter, they cannot outplay them because Virtus.pro's got quite the upper hand.
Ooh, that Void pick is so good, though. Slark feels real bad playing against that. This is a tough one because I think VP's a better team. I like Newbee's lineup slightly more, so I'm going to go for VP. Easy.
I
Easy
think
logic.
I like that logic.
Yes.
But I think if you want to pick Slark, you ban Void. You can deal with Bloodseeker. You can't deal with Void.
You
in my
can't bleed.
experience
Come
with
on, you
Slark.
can't bleed.
You can.
Bloodseekers lost. Bloodseekers beat every Slark this tournament.
Yeah, but
basically.
it's because not me.
They don't buy Satanic, damn it.
All right.
Exactly.
All right, Black, who are you,
No,
who are you rooting
I'll
for? Who are
go
you
for
favoriting?
I'll go for Newbee. I actually like the Void pick.
Newbee. Yeah.
I like the
Newbee.
Void pick, but man, I just think the rum is the one thing that counteracts kind of the Void to protect the Slark. Is
It
my
does.
one
Yeah.
aspect. So
Might
I'm
happen.
gonna go for VP.
All right. Well, if you want to get in on those predictions
Sorry, buddy.
on Twitter, check out PGL Esports on Twitter. And if you want to watch the game, stay right here with our commentators, Toby1 and Kyle.
That's right. Stay here a little bit longer.
I
We're-
did not expect that.
No, neither did I. That's the way I roll, man.
Yes.
Welcome to the Idiot Casters. We'll be with you for our first series today. I'm Toby1. This is Kyle, and we're gonna go straight into the game. VP versus Newbee. This is the reason why we're moving in quickly, because Ramses is already taking a lot of damage. KP and Kaka dual laning the off lane against Ramses and Solo. Quickly before we run through our lanes and we do our little try screen. What do you think of the draft? The panel had a couple of thoughts, but so did you.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to come down to VP's like far superior team fight and whether Newbee can outlast that. They have a lot of control, but very limited damage output. They need Void to get to a point where he's a real carry hero, and they can take longer team fights because you have a Fatal Bonds, you've got the Rum, you've got all these burst damage from VP. If they make a fight last 10, 15 seconds, they're going to win it every time. But if Newbee can kind of sustain through that, the Void can stay alive and just, again, be a real carry. He will counter the Slark, but he needs a lot of items to get there.
Yeah, that's the way the Void works. Is that when you, like it's Battle Fury, right? It has to be Battle Fury. It has to be heavy farming. They're off to a half decent start with actually VP. It ends up being a 2-2 room. Pasha was able to contest the Faceless Void.
And I'm really low on these Bane DK heroes. I'm not huge fans of them because it feels like they're very limited and wave clear. The panel was talking about what items you like to see DK go. In this game, I'd love a Shadow Blade, but I'm all about Armlet Maelstrom. I really think Maelstrom's utilized on DK. It's something that was used to be picked up back in like 2015-16. I think it's perfect for the hero, and it makes up for his lack of wave clear and his weakness when he has no DK form. Because you just feel like a bad hero when you're walking around with just a stick.
It just feels like everything though it's wrapping up into that DK form. So make sure you're strong enough to fight at that point. So yeah, I can understand why it goes the opposite direction too. Burrow Strike, a little bit short from KP. Interesting to also see like KP, like I wanted to have him with a stunning hero. Like that for me, like every time I see KP, go Australia, with him on a stunning style offlaner, things always go a lot better for Newbee, but only when he gets his initiating item. And SK, with the help of Kaka, I'm assuming this should go pretty well for him.
Yeah. The thing is they, again, DK has to itemize for damage because otherwise you have the Chrono. Void needs like 3-4 items. And Sand King, yeah, he can blink in with an Epi, right? But they're so cooldown dependent. With no Epi, they don't really have any damage to follow up a Chrono because that Lesh isn't a core.
Those Fatal Bonds not helping out KP and Kaka at all. They back up behind the tower, making sure they don't get leashed up by the Slark.
And Solo playing super well. He has the 2 mangoes too. And Slark's such a strong laner now, especially with the assistance of a Warlock. He's got 4.2 base regen and the heal spam. I mean, what do you do?
KP's still going to have a decent time on bottom just thanks to Caustic Finale and Ramses. He can regen up this a little bit later on, but lane presence-wise, like KP's already got some really, really good CS. They're having a little bit of play up on top lane. Difficult for Pasha as well as Roger to get a kill on any of like both of these heroes. You got Time Walk away for one, and you got Brain Sap for another. So the sustainability that we're talking about is still there in the early levels. Probably another little small thing to touch on. Normally, VP as a team we say has won every single lane, but how do they actually win these lanes against Newbee? It's so stable that it seems like both teams, all they have is an even trade until the first rotation happens.
Yeah, and I do like that from Newbee, because we were talking about that off camera last night about how Newbee just seems to get abused in every laning phase. And they made sure this game, you know, maybe they won't win their lanes, but they aren't going to lose.
They're after Roger, thanks to that time dilation point from Mugi. Roger is so low, but he'll still survive. In fact, his Faith who's in trouble, brings up the cooldown in 2 seconds time. But on bottom lane, Solo underneath the tower. One more hit from KP will do that, while up on top, the axe from Pasha will find that kill. Ramses is still in a little bit of world of hurt. It's Kaka and KP. They're connected together, actually. Kaka, KP, stop taking damage. You're killing off Kaka right now. Yeah, actually, Kaka's denying himself to the Wild Wings before Solo can get him.
Yeah, the thing about this lane is that you need to find kills if you're Newbee, because otherwise you just shove the lane into Slark, he farms under tower, but it's less Sand King. I mean, you won't out-regen a Warlock lane, but you can always find kills with the stun combos, as we just saw. And it's part of the reason these two heroes are picked in conjunction, because they're such a strong dual lane off, and you always have the threat of just the Lesh mid, the Lesh carry. You can do anything with this hero. My favorite personally, and I'm glad to see it rising to its true #1 pick status in the meta, because it's worth it.
I want to keep my eyes on this mid lane a little bit more. It's been an even trade-off, but it's the progression of SCCC.
I mean, it's DK Kunkka. They're just going to smack each other and nobody dies. Yeah. There's nothing really to say about it.
I suppose you can't even force the lane too, can you? Because the Kunkka can just push back the 3 points up in Tidebringer. Means that you got a Dragon Form, but you can't put a creep wave under the tower. Faith in a world of hurt on top lane. Nightmare just keeping the Beastmaster down again into the time dilation. The sleep was switched off by Roger. Yeah. Trying to allow Pasha the ability to dive after Faith. 2 points up in the axis. He's looking for the hit onto Faith. He'll connect both times as Faith wants to brain step out the life from Roger, but we can cut him and Orb. Faith is so low. 19 HP. He's got 7 stick charges available. That won't be enough as Roger goes in deeper for the kill. He actually did burn the stick charges too. Time walk forward from Mugi, getting aggressive onto Roger. There's no way this guy survives again on 50 HP. The axes fly. Time dilation still on cooldown. In fact, they turn it around. Mugi, he needs a little bit of extra help. The Nightmare will do so. Pasha forced to stand where he is. With the 2 points brain stab, Faith needs to get a little bit more damage in before he can kill off Pasha. Dude, and they're going for the bounty rune. Okay, this is greedy, Pasha. Mugi can time walk into a bash, but they're not going to do it.
Yeah, they saw he had the stick. And man, Mugi cannot buy a bash to save his life. He was 0 for 6 there, but I love his decision to skill time dilation. That's the only reason this lane is not just a total annihilation, because he's able to prevent the spam of the axes and the bolt. Because they're always going to be pressuring you as Sky Beast, but this buys his Bane that extra 10 seconds or so to get another brain sap off. So he will die, but they're getting favorable trades, and again, one bash, you'll get a counter kill.
Yeah.
There's a reason these two heroes are picked so often, though. Like, you really cannot do much against this sort of lane. They just spam, and you can see Bane, Faith just coming back to lane, spamming brain sap off cooldown, but still not enough to sustain.
Yeah. He needs more levels to make this work properly for him.
Yeah.
Bottom lane also, KP 28 for 7 now on this Sand King. Ramses, he was beginning his TP right in front of KP.
He misclicked. He TP'd back to tier 1.
Okay.
His own lane.
Well, that's not good to burn that. Especially if there's some rotation. SCC's burned his Dragon Form as Roger rotated towards the mid lane.
Yeah, I like this too from KP. The core Sand King is just a 1-to-1 counter of the Slark in lane, just because you really can't touch creeps, especially when you're threatened with the double stun as well. Yep. And he just goes treads. So 1100 HP, very strong laner now, and Slark is in a lot of trouble because while, yeah, you can probably sustain with that Warlock, he just dies if he ever catches a stun in a creep wave.
Yeah, and that's what KP's looking for. Burrow Strike, creep waves there underneath the tower, but it was a little bit too late for the split Earth. This Ramsey's very quick on the Dark Pack, but they're going to go for everything into KP. They know he has no Fire Strike. Fire Strike now up off cooldown, goes through 2. Kaka wants to create more space with the Lightning, gets 1 stun. But KP, he's connected to the creep wave, which is now dead, so he knows! Okay, Solo's got him. Yeah, it's fine.
He was dead. He had like an extra 100 of damage coming in thanks to the W as well.
Yeah.
The nice rotation though, and you see
top lane, Nightmare from Faith actually stopping the TP out from Skywrath Mage. Boogie moves over and they can just bash down Roger. Faith actually just secures it with the Brain Sap instead.
And it's a nice kill. And not only that, I really want to bring up the point. This is something VP does all the time. They rotate their cores and as support TPs to the lane abandoned to catch that creep wave instead of letting it go to waste. They do this nearly every single time, and it's something I think other teams might want to learn from, because those 4 creeps that were just lost to mid tower is as good as a hero kill and denied golden XP.
Good combination again going to work over on Solo. The 2 points in Shadow was giving him a lot of life back, and Ramses jumps over towards Kaka. They need to make this worth it, but KP, he'll have to burn the Burrow Strike in order to do so. He can hide inside the Sandstorm just out of range of the tower. She dodges the attack with that, and then straight into the tree to pop back up again.
Yep. He has Epi soon. He'll get that before Slark is 6 as well, so that's going to be a kill. But Ramsey's been very good just getting the stuns off with his Dark Pack. One of the best, if not the best, Slark
SDCC's rotation's coming. Haste Rune, he's got the Soul Ring up. Observer Ward did scout that movement out, however, and this is the reason why Solo and Ramses are back behind the tower.
Great ward. He has another one mid as well.
Raw up on top. They are very, very deep. This is tier 2 tower level. Mugi, he can't jump away, or can he? He seals. Time warp, 1 second. Pasha gets the hit in. But because SDC had the haste rune, got up top quickly, and now is on the chase after Pasha.
He's not going to catch him, but I really think VP...
He should be able to, face moving over. No Nightmare available, actually. He can't stop him. There's a lot of wasted time of SDCC.
Yeah, this is already not worth it, even if they do land this kill. So many creeps have been wasted in mid and bottom lane, or mid and top lane.
Oh, they do have the kill. Yeah. SDC needs a TP scroll to get back to mid pretty quickly, but he doesn't have one.
Okay, real quick though, these wards, the one middle and the one bottom, as a DK, Death Prophet, all these heroes that have a tower pushing ult, they usually want to rotate to the enemy safe lane, kill the carry, get the tower. These 2 wards defend that area, and they sniff out the rotation that you can actually just always expect from this sort of hero. So really intelligent warding from Solo. You don't want to waste them in the top area of the map because you're just going to have a beast there, and as we just saw, you really don't care if he dies because they're diving tier 2s. That's their job. Make space for your Slark and protect the Slark most importantly.
KP and Kaka just shrined up. They're going to be looking to actually kill off that Slark if possible. Meanwhile, up on top, Faceless Void has hit 6, so you have Epicenter available, you have Faceless Void Chrono available. A lot of the big combinations that Newbee need to sync together can start to work. X marks a spot. They're trying to go after Kaka. Ramses. The Burrow Strike held him out for a little bit longer. This is great timing from VP because they're able to get both of the bounty runes on bottom and get KP into a defensive position.
You see Drum's gonna be the item choice for SCCC. I think Drums and Elfman's gonna come back, man. Just wait till the end of the event. Oh, up top, solo kill on Mugi.
Small moment when Faith was backing out. They were moving down the river, but got the roar into the Faceless Void, and the amount of damage when you got Medallion, he was able just to get through the Faceless Void.
Yeah. This is one thing Pasha, like, he plays so aggressive in this off lane. He's got no vision, completely by himself, but he's always making things happen. And it buys so much space for his other cores, Noah and Ramses, who often get all the credit, but man, Pasha does his job.
X marks the spot, in for the Torrent, support. It's not coming in fast enough. Or maybe it is. With a Nightmare out, Skywrath Mage is kind of locked. You still get the kill over onto Faith, but Mugi's TP in. He was ready if this fight was going to sustain. Just to drop that Chronosphere, but they managed to force a rotation as well from KP.
It's just too many rotates forced this bottom lane getting abandoned. I mean, KP's going to get back to catch the creep wave. DK TP's in, but look at the vision. Once again, another high ground ward place, this one for free because these rotations are happening. So there's total vision control in this area from Solo. One on the high ground above the tower and another one to the left of the easy camp.
They're coming to ensnare KP. Solo's got rock, so there's no way KP could hide inside a Sandstorm. No other choice but to Burrow Strike away.
Man, the VP, this is part of why they're the best in the world, man. They have such a good read on the game, and look at this, a smoke now.
So do they fight?
Towards bottom, yeah, of course you do. You have Golem.
Okay, you've got Golem, but you've still got Epicenter as well as Faces Void Chrono. DK is going to be pushing the tier 1 tower. Is this really what you want to fight?
I think you can. You don't need to, but it's certainly a thing. And what I also like is that, oh no, they saw Void, I believe, on the ward.
Yeah, that would be an easier kill for him. With Mystic Flare, all they need to do is hit the Roar. Observer Ward, so Mugi move around the side.
Silence
the
now.
Roar, Mugi back out into the trees. Roar is out. There's Mystic Flare. TPs are coming back. SCCC is going to finish the job. He's finishing that tier 1 tower on bottom, but Solo's having a solo battle here with Kaka, which he can actually win. He's got Rock as well as the ability. Okay, he can't win this one. KB, Fire Striker to Epicenter.
Dude, there's so many moves. Like, VP's playing this, like, it's clinical. First off, they place another ward during that smoke. So now they have 2 wards placed in the enemy bottom jungle. They rotate the Slark mid as this all goes down, as he takes the lane now with no enemy heroes to just continue free farming. No one is now top. He's killing that tower, so they get a tower trade, a kill on enemy core, a ward placed, and again, more space for Slark. You can't do this well if you're not VP. Like, this is some good shit. Like, this is high tier Dota, and the last 2 minutes, 3 minutes have been just excellent. Every person understanding what their role is. Solo even ensuring that if anyone's gonna die, it's him.
It's the way to run it. The sacrificial man. That's what he was always being praised for.
Yep, look at this now.
I can't believe how quickly they moved that. Like no one's been up there for such a long time, and yeah, he can get this solo kill onto Faceless Void. Thanks, Ramses.
Man, that's great. That's like an alley-oop, and then your whole bench just starts pointing at the guy that got dunked on. That's why I love tips, man. It's the best thing that happened to Dota in like a long time, I swear. And to people that want this removed, honestly, you're awful people.
I'm happy to have it throttled into something which is less invasive in overlays, but yeah, it can save. That's my only debate for it. Middle lane, Faith is wrapping around the back. Their Observer Ward just timed out, but they get the X mark spot over onto Kafka. He turns on the Pulse Nova, does as much damage as he can before he dies. But his mid-tower fortification is the only thing that's delaying Virtus.pro. They're trying to get a revenge tower on the top. KP's ready with Blink Dagger, ready to fight. No Epicenter available for him. But this is at least a half-decent trade-off from Newbee. Like, the gold advantage isn't getting out of control for them. Yes, they'll lose their tier 1 tower in mid, but the trade-off is the tier 1 tower on top.
But the other thing is this whole time, VP always making moves is 4. As they make a move, Ramses runs in the opposite direction to continue farming because he understands his role. He'll have a Shadow Blade finish soon, then he can start getting involved. But VP, clinical in their movements, never committing more resources than necessary and taking efficient trades all over the map. You're going to lose towers against a DK, but they've killed the hero that we discussed, needing to have a good game, Mugi's Void.
They're out looking
He's
for
in
the
the
fight.
dumpster right now.
They're looking for KP. KP needs to blink right now, and he is able to blink. He got sealed a little bit first on bottom lane. Pasha's on the run away underneath that tier 1 tower. The Roar, but Fiend's Grip way too good, holding Pasha in position, and a much-needed kill. While up on top, the Epicenter, no one. He's got the ship coming in, hiding inside the Sandstorm, will not work. And it will be a 1-for-1 trade-off, the off-lane for off-lane.
Not just that, they get all 4 runes, too.
Chrono, Warlock. Oh, okay. You'll take what you can get. Mugi, with the Mask of Madness and Chronosphere, at least he knows he can kill the Warlock off guaranteed, even without the help of the DK.
Man, they got 1,400 gold from runes, though.
Yeah.
That Warlock kill was worth 344.
Slark's better get its own kill in mid. First reveal of the Shadow Blade. You already hit Lashrak with a concussive. Faith, how do you stop this Nightmare? Your own teammate was the only way to do it. But difficult when Ramses already is triggering the Dark Pact, so even if he does take the Nightmare back, he just breaks it off.
I'm just enjoying this, man. I don't care if VP wins a game in 10 minutes. It's always fun to cast them because they're just always playing such exceptional Dota. I feel like you can learn from them any game that they play.
Yeah, they are a terrific team. Mid lane is where Newbee is now worrying about the defense. They have no Chronosphere for 80 seconds, and Virtus.pro are on the hunt. Ramses is wrapping around on the top lane, hoping that someone comes out to defend it, and that's a position which Karka does not want to run to, and SCC doesn't want to come out there either. The Burrow Strike forward. creating space from KP into the Lightning, looking for the double sun. Kaka can't connect, but now you're raw into the Mystic Flare. SDCC just cannot survive as the SK is on the run, but he'll be pulled back in by the X marks spot. Ramses with the double kill, now chalking up 5 in total. Tier 2 tower to fall, and Newbee, they are slowly being choked out on their own side of the map.
And just simple plays. No one's shoving that top wave. In the meantime, you run around and cut S4. You get a little skirmish started. Newbee gets baited into a fight, but there's a Warlock in a boat. Like, no one's just right over there. He's just looking down the street like, oh, game's starting. Like, let me come out to play. He drops a boat. All of a sudden, the X finds a follow-up kill. Much like Disruptor, Kunkka's great at ensuring you get that next kill. If you get the fight, you're always going to get that +1. And it's just great because it's 2 cores that go down. And I mean, SCCC's going for a BKB, but by the time he picks that up, is he really even going to be in a position to win his team a team fight? They're 6K down already.
Yeah. And at this point, too, I think the raw control the Pasha's been able to offer has just been too much. He actually has a Shadow Blade of his own coming in. So once you have the BKB, you still need to trigger it before you get hit.
Look at this down bottom. He baits the BK or the
smoke.
DD. He breaks the smoke.
That's probably the best scenario, though, for Newbee, because a double damage Slark.
Yeah.
If they didn't actually see him coming, they would have died. KP's in the tree, they're burning off the drum charge. Now is Epicenter blink borrowed time. They need some kind of answer. The Burrow Strike, it doesn't connect. The rest of Newbee is on the way. Chronosphere is up. Faceless Void, where's that position? Moogie is so late to this fight, they haven't had it. So they Fiend Script the Skywrath Mage to kill him off, but Ramsey, he's ready to fight. Moogie, time dilation, they'll get revenge, and the Chronosphere onto Pasha. Moogie runs back into him, but Slark, he's going 1-on-3. The Burrow Strike, they're holding Slark in position. Where's the follow-up damage? It isn't there. The Dark Pact, as well as the Shadow Dance. Ramsey just breaks free out of it, and they're just bonded up. STCC needs to turn, but he can't. He just gets flipped up by the Torrent. And it's a sealed up Mookie time walking away, leaving KP to die. Sentry Ward is down, the Sand King is revealed. 4 heroes from Newbee pushing up the daisies, and Virtus.pro laughing all the way to the bank, or potentially the Roche Pit.
They're just the little things, man. There's so much to talk about every single team fight that they take. They initially go for the skirmish. The moment that sleep save comes out, they back off. They understand we can't overextend. We sit here with 3 extra seconds. We catch an Epi, a Void comes in with a Chrono. We're going to just get wiped. You don't want to sit in a choke point as 5. Ramses used both pounces later on in that re-engage defensively because he recognizes if he pounces in at any point, he'll die with Pact down. This is something BSJ was in awe of when we were casting ESL because it's every single time. He gets a couple Essence Shift procs, he uses the Pact, but he saves pounce and uses it defensively whenever he's slightly exposed. And he goes down to less than 20% twice in that fight, but he's getting Warlock healed and just regens.
It seems almost too easy for this Slark, man. And I'm wondering, like how does Newbee even now try and stop this? Like, I beg the question, like, should Mookie have been there a little bit earlier? Should they have been reading that fight was going to happen, so they actually had the Chronosphere on their side of the river and not chasing underneath where the Tier 1 tower used to be for VP and mid?
Well, it all starts with the ward as well. This ward,
they saw him coming.
They switched the vision up. Now they have control of the Dire top jungle. 2 wards. They see the enemy positioning, and again, they bait out that smoke from Ramses. In the meantime, the rest of the team is smoking right back at the enemy side.
Oh, actually,
it's so fast.
Can't believe they got a full Solar Crest as well now on Pasha. Like, you want enabling or disabling, like it's going to be there, and Slark has himself an Echo Saber, stealing the Essence so early on,
and
so quick.
No one beat SCCC to BKB, and he bought an armlet extra as well. Like, he's a full armlet ahead, and the BKB is still 1,000 gold away on the Dragonite as well. So you still can't take fights, and you abuse this. They have the Kunkka BKB. You just run into the Roche Pit, because how do you lose a fight now? Solar Crest, as you said, I mean, it's just dead. They have the Golem as well as backup. I mean, what do you do?
And you got Nagus the Immortal as backup. And it's into the hands of the Slark, so let him go offensive. And every time he walks over any Observer Ward that Newbee's got, he's got 3 sentries in his backpack ready to remove him too. This should actually be a high ground push, right? They just go straight up either top or mid. Like, Slark's pushing in the top lane at the moment because Ramses doesn't need to be there in the mid for this push. Maybe SCCC's going to get a trade-off. It's the tier 2 tower on bottom lane. With a catapult wave, it's up to VP if they want to go back to defend this or if they want to go up. Their intent will be known just by seeing if someone is sent back. seems the intent is to continue. Tier 2 towers being attacked. Void's farming up. Void as well as SK are farming up the Radiant jungle. It's the only safe place for them to be, and now they'll TP back in preparation for the fight.
This is vintage VP though, man. They're always playing more lanes than you. Slark shoves top. That's near the tier 3. Mid in the tier 3. Slark's already bottom, taking that wave. And yeah, KP cuts mid, but they're not looking to push. They're just expanding their lead. Look top.
Yep, they're going after Mugi. Hit him down with the boat, but this is just... they're not even properly committing to this. It's like they're trying to get Newbee to believe that they're looking for a proper fight, when really they're just burning like low cooldown abilities.
Yeah, 50 seconds. You spend a cooldown, you ensure that 5 Newbee heroes are now back in the base.
Yep, they all
Slark's
came
just
back
farming.
too. So Newbee are coming out for a fight. Mugi's the only one who's not under this smoke. And as far as vision goes, he is underneath the Observer Ward.
But they're just going to be in a good position. You still can't take a team fight against VP. Slark's going to run in with Aegis. Kunkka has BKB. Neither one of these heroes is killable.
There's 2 Sentry Wards already down. There's an Invis rune on the Kunkka. Actually, he's walking away from the fight. Newbee are looking to fight on bottom lane, but the face is Void. Without his Chronosphere, they've got nothing, and that's who Ramses is looking at, and that's who Ramses has support in order to kill. They just steal him up, they pull him back in with the X-Master, but on bottom lane, Beastmaster is the trade-off. But look at the rotation. Solo's got Rock and a level 3 Photo Bonds. He wants to just drop this and let absolutely rip.
Buyback on Void is ready.
Here it comes, BKB from no one. They're holding the Rock, SDCC. Now the Rock will drop, catching the 3 heroes, all in Fatal Bonds. And this is basically the end of the fight now for Newbee. Faith is able to get a full duration Fiend Scrim off, and that's only because VP allowed it to be so. So much essence being stolen. Ramses doesn't care if he dies. He's got 25 essence shifted into him. This game feels like it's done, and Arax hasn't even been taken.
Dude, the damage output of a Fatal Bonds and a Kunkka Cleave is insane. Ramses does not die with both up. And it's just so easy. Yeah, Pasha died, right? But obviously it's for a good cause. The Void's already down. That means the team fight turnaround from Newbee is just dead completely. His game
without Chrono, they can't fight, right?
Exactly. But they they want to get this counter kill on Beastmaster, and it's just a bait. You get the Fatal Bonds on DK Bane, and yeah, you might miss the boat combo, but you can see the pre-BKB. Just get your spells off. It's the boat buff that's most important. The one crit takes out nearly both supports. He tanks the full grip, but it doesn't even matter. DK has a BKB, but as Black said in the pregame, you don't do any damage with these item builds. And yeah, this is better than a Hood and a Blink, but they're so far behind at this point. Like, no one's now going to be 2 full items ahead. He's got a Crystallis.
Yeah, they needed to snowball with the Chronosphere kills, but the first 2 Chronosphere kills that happened were on supports only. Like, it was Solo, I think, actually. He was the only one that died. And here we go again. The Nightmare save is out, but Darkpack Ramses takes the Nightmare, hits back into him, and he's still got the Shadow Dance going inside the base, pouncing around, missed the hit onto Faith, but it may not matter. They're spamming so much control from the backline. Pounce off cooldown in 1 second time, and yeah, with 34 agility stacked up, remember, he doesn't have the plus 120 second essence shift duration. He's just hitting that quickly. VP are looking for fight after fight. Ramses is he's never losing this advantage. It's plus 102 agility stolen. Hitting KP more, bounce it up a little bit higher. This game is really done. Done like a dinner. Good game. GG.
That 25 minutes, Toby, and I honestly think that if you're a team and you're watching this back home at the hotel, or any player that wants to improve, I think that no matter what role you play, you can watch the counterpart on VP, and don't look at just what the individual actions are, but why is everyone playing the way that they do? It is a fluid machine, and everyone does their job, and they do it probably about as good as anybody else in the world can, so... Clinical.
Yeah, when I first started watching Virtus.pro, and it was one of the things that I think almost every analyst was saying was like, Ramses is just so good in the safe lane, just because he's able to have like these really sustainable heroes. Back when he was playing nothing but like Lifestealer or a Gyrocopter, like no one was ever contesting him. Now it feels like safety never has to cross his mind, because his supports are making so much space for him to work. I think Roger's initiation into this team was also such a smooth and fluid transition that it's opened up the rest of VP to do whatever the hell they want. Like, Pasha's playing this off lane in such an aggressive way that if he dies, it never matters, because no one in Ramses are always there to pick up the rest of it. If you lose 1 lane for VP, it's a surprise. If you lose 2 lanes, it's a disaster, and they never lose 3.
Yeah. And I think that this is a great demonstration as well of why it's so important, like why Dota is a team game. Because you take any of these players out and put them on another squad, their actions might be the exact same, but they're going to look bad because the rest of their teammates aren't going to play fast enough, and they're not going to be in the right positions. But that's why they're VP, and we're not.
I really hope that they don't have the CIS curse going into the international, because these guys are looking good. Like I want to put them in my prediction to go all the way and win right now if they continue to play on this level. Fairly certain the panel think the same way.
Oh, definitely. That team is unstoppable at the moment, and unfortunately, Newbee is the victim of that in this first game of the series in the upper bracket. If they want to win, they want to win because they want to be top 6. That's what you get when you win. They have a pretty big struggle here.
Yeah.
Shannon, this was a rough one.
Yeah, Pasha and Roger just basically killing whoever they want. I mean, we talk about that combo, the roar into Mystic Flare. It's pretty filthy. I mean, they do have Nightmare to kind of I would call it a sub counter, but that you have to be in range for that every single time, and they catch you off guard a lot, and that
like
create a lot of
soft
space for
counter,
Ramses.
right?
Yeah. I like sub counter.
Sub counter.
Yeah.
I like soft counter more. Sub counter sounds weird.
I just
that sounds like it's a sub counter, like you're counting subscribers.
I literally made that up, so
Okay.
it's understandable you don't like the thing I just coined. Thank you.
I like what you make up usually, though.
Yeah,
That's true.
But this one felt like it.
You know, we talked before the game about how it was very important for Newbee to do well on the lanes.
They didn't.
And to focus on the lanes. They didn't. The lanes weren't an straight up disaster, though.
But they didn't pressure the Slark the way they needed
did
to.
not,
They
no.
needed to shut down Ramses. And, I mean, Black said it literally right before we finished off. He's like, if they don't shut the Slark down, they're going to have like tremendous issues. Ramses had a free game because of the pressure that is the side lanes. And, I mean, no one as well. This Kunkka was rotating all over the place. And to be honest, I saw a lot of mistakes from Newbee, a lot of individual errors too. Missed burrow strikes, chronospheres to kill a warlock. The first chronosphere was used to kill a warlock, right? Or something like that.
After 12 minutes or something.
After 12 minutes, I saw Mugi get solo killed by Pasha up top by that Beastmaster too. I saw a lot of mistakes that you can't do versus VP. They're going to punish you so hard for that.
But it's like the typical VP, right? They actually won 3 out of 3 lanes this game. If VP does that, you won't beat them. They're way too good with the momentum they have afterwards. A lot of teams say, we just need to survive the laning phase and we'll do fine. But every team that says that, they just get crushed in the laning phase. So, I don't know. It's like, it seems like I want to see what LGD does against them. Because they're both very fast teams. And
You're like, skip the first
Sorry,
round.
sorry,
I mean, of course, it doesn't. It's not there yet. But it's just like, it feels like LGD is the only one who can match their pace right now.
Yeah, I agree.
But VP is just insanely fast. If you give them momentum, they'll use it. And they'll never stop.
We can add another loss to Dragon Knight for this turn. I'm keeping tally, man. Dragon Knight and DP have been getting dumpstered consistently.
I think, you know, I was on board with a little bit with what Black was saying, how he's like, you know, of course, Void versus Slark, it's great, but I actually don't think you can pick Void versus VP. I think it's just way too slow of a hero, right? Like, you're so reliant on Chronosphere in these two situations. They're just going to play around you when you don't have it.
Dragon Knight's fairly fast, though. And he was actually doing the one that actually was doing okay on the farm.
Yeah.
But it still didn't work out. Is Dragon Knight then also not the right hero?
I think no one's rotations were just way better than Dragon Knight's.
Yep.
Like, he used the first Dragon form. As soon as the Dragon form runs out, he TPs bottom and secures the Sark lane. Because mid tower can't get pressure, Dragon form is on cooldown. It was just the perfect rotation.
Yeah, that's one of the big things I always look at for VP is how much they emphasize on protecting those tier 1s. It's like every single time they're like, okay, DK, like you said, DK form's used, they stay in the lane, and then they get the hell out of there. They always make sure that they can defend those tier 1s in any of those situations, and also try to like fix their lanes too, because Ramses was getting pressured a bit, and then no one does that TP bottom, and all the pressure gets alleviated.
Yeah, it was like the instant fix for the lane.
I think that that fix kind of deserves the MVP award, because who else are you going to choose? VP works so well as a team that you could literally say good things about every single player in this game. I mean, Ramses didn't die this game. I don't think no one died either. We just say no one MVP then, Shannon?
Pasha, he doesn't have a Mercedes yet.
That's true.
Just stack up the
I
MVPs.
I don't know, no one for me. This one was pretty his rotations were unbelievable. And he
it
was
is
so
so
farmed. Like I think Kyle pointed out too, he was like, he literally has the phase, he has the drum, he has an armlet and a BKB, and the Dragon Knight still doesn't have the BKB with the drums. He had a full item ahead, and just making constant rotations to just make the space for that Slark.
Cool participation. over 100%.
119%,
Yeah.
as expected from no one.
Wow.
Didn't expect anything less from him.
Nope.
And
He's
this
a beast.
this combo too. We didn't really get to see it play out like crazy in this game, but we saw a few of them. Fatal Bond's Tidebringer. Fatal Bond's boat.
Pretty dirty.
Yep.
But this was not a straight up outdraft,
No.
right?
I
This
actually
is
like
just
Newbee's
outplay.
draft. Newbee's draft was quite good in my opinion.
I think VP just made the draft. They just played around it so well. I mean, this is what VP does. Even if it looks like a fairly even draft, they just.
Well, there's a job for Sansheng right now. Sansheng, of course, the coach for Newbee. I'm hoping that he's going to be able to give the team all pick me up. They're going to need it for the second game, which will be happening right after this break.